Good morning, children. Welcome to today's science class. Today's class we learn about water. We continue learning about water. The previous class we learned about the uses, sources of water. Today we learn about the conservation of water. Let us get started, children. We learned about the water cycle in nature in our previous class. By now you all know that water cycle is the cyclic movement of water from the earth to the atmosphere, again coming back to the earth. That is another way we can say as continuous circulation of water in nature from earth to atmosphere and again back to the earth is called as water cycle. And in water cycle we learnt that very important process such as evaporation, condensation and precipitation are involved. Yes. So while learning about that, one more thing also we learned that transpiration also takes place during the water cycle. You keenly observe this picture, children, which is explaining you how the clouds are getting formed. See the water body. Here as example, ocean is given. The water in the water bodies gets evaporated, that is changing of water into water vapor on heating. Due to the sun's heat, it changes into water vapor and it moves up. And when it starts moving up, it starts condensing and water vapor starts condensing and the clouds are again, so you can see clouds are getting formed. When clouds become heavier with many droplets of water, they precipitate, they fall down as rain, and the rain only fills the surface water and also the groundwater. You can see the snow covered mountains, surface water like the water bodies and also the groundwater, all are getting filled, replenished by the rain. And here you can see from the plants there is one arrow showing transpiration. So what is this transpiration? Let us look at it. Even here in this picture also you can see the evaporation down to the sun. You see evaporation, condensation, precipitation is falling off the rain, and percolation is that water is getting absorbed by the ground, and also you can see from the trees transpiration. So what is this transpiration? The leaves have tiny pores called stomata on their surface that helps in exchange of gases in plants. This you all might be knowing. The leaves lose water from their surface through stomata. So leaves also, the leaves of the plants, they lose some amount of water from their surface through the stomata, which are the tiny pores present on the leaves. This is called transpiration. Transpiration helps to keep the leaves cool and to transport the water and minerals from roots to the leaves. So even transpiration is also helping in the formation of water vapor in the water cycle. So already you know three processes, one more process involved in the water cycle you have to learn, children. So first one was the evaporation, condensation, precipitation and also the transpiration. Yes. Now let us get once we will see what happens when the rainfall. Just we recollect what we learned in the previous class. The water that falls on the land as rain and snow, sometimes snow, no, in the depending upon the temperature of the place, can undergo circulation. The rainwater will fall as a surface runoff. That means it will fill the river, lake, ocean. Infiltration, that means it go deep into the soil. So when you get infiltration happens, it is used by the plants on the topmost soil when the plants will absorb them for their growth. And also it gets settled under the ground as groundwater. So the rain is the main source of water for the earth. So the rainwater fills the surface water and also the groundwater. Surface water and groundwater are the two important sources of water on the earth. We already discussed about that. You see here, the major in the cities, we depend upon the groundwater only. Groundwater is a very, very important source of water. Apart from the river, lake, pond, we also depend upon the groundwater. So whenever we talk about groundwater, even you might have heard about the depletion of water table. So when there is no proper rainfall or the infiltration means the rainwater which is getting seeping inside, when it is not that replenishing, that is not, it is getting not recharged, the depletion means the water table will start depleting, becoming lesser and lesser. That means the groundwater level is decreasing, which is very, very this may whenever water is needed, we will not be able to get it from the ground even. So that becomes, that causes the even the scarcity of water. See here, so the rain, you know that rain is very very important to get the to fill the surface and our surface water bodies and also the groundwater. If no rain, if there is no rain for long period of time in a particular place, it is called as drought. If suppose it heavily rains, that is also, it is a calamity only, called the floods. So drought, when there is no rainfall for long period of time, it is caused, and floods are caused due to the excessive rainfall. Now we'll go deeper to learn about the water table, children. So you see this picture, rain falls, and the on the surface you can see the surface where where it is written. Down to that you can see the porous rock, soil not saturated with groundwater, that is a porous rock part. Then the porous rock with the groundwater you can see, an impermeable rock. These are the different layers under the earth, under the ground, where the water, when the rain falls, so the water will get stored in the porous rock, you can see there. And the top level of the groundwater is called as the water table, and this groundwater is also called as aquifer, which we discussed in the previous class also. So whenever we dig a well, when there is no water in the area in the where some people are living, so they will dig to get the groundwater. So this groundwater, it will be available that, depending upon the water table level, they will be getting that groundwater either by sending the bore well or by the digging the well. So when water table, when the level is good, when there is a good rainfall and it is properly, the water was getting allowed to seep inside the ground, the water table will be, it will be completely, it will be filled, and it is easy to dig and take it. If suppose the water table is depletion, that is called, if it is decreased, then getting water we have to dig into so deeply, and that becomes very difficult sometimes to get the water depending upon the place where we are living. Now see why this depletion takes place. Why do the water in the water table, why this water table depletes, means they get decreases. One reason is deforestation. Now only you learnt about the transpiration, how plants also help in the water cycle. So when we are cutting the trees and forests are destroyed, that is also one reason rain becomes less, and because of no rainfall and there is no much ground area for the water to seep inside, it leads to the depletion of water table. Second important reason for depletion of water table is scanty rainfall, very very less rainfall. When there is no rainfall, the water will not be seeping means it will not be going inside the ground, and the water table will not be getting filled. Third reason is excessive consumption, when more population is there. So increasing population is one of the major concern, because each one of us need water. That's what we learned in the first when we learned about the lesson, uses of water. When more population is increasing, more amount of water is required, and that is also one of the reason for the, when many apartments are there, many houses are there, we'll start digging and we will take the groundwater in that area, definitely the water table will start depleting. Third reason, decrease in seepage area. See, when the cities are completely covered with the roads and concrete, cement, like this surfaces on the ground, when we covered with cement, then the water cannot seep. Even though the rain falls, the water will get wasted in the drainage, and it will not seep inside, and it will also lead to the water depletion. And the excessive use of agricultural activities, when the population is more, crops have to be grown more, and when we are wasting the food also, more amount has to be grown. So that is also one of the reason for the depletion of water table. And increasing industries, when population is more and we are not using the things properly, again and again we will buy, and the industries are more now, and each and every industry will be requiring water. We learnt in the previous class 22% of water is needed by the industries. This is also when they dig and they take, every area when they dig and take the water from the ground, this leads to the depletion of water table. So now you know 6 important reasons for the depletion of water table. This you have to write in your notebook while watching this video only. So when you know now how the clouds are formed, why rain is so more important. When it is not raining, what happens? Water table, when it is depleting, what happens? So then automatically we have to find the ways for conserving means saving the water. The first important thing is avoiding wastage. We should not waste water. And the next important thing in conservation of water is reuse and recycle. So reusing the water, like kitchen water can be reused, and when we are it's like that, so many other ways have to find out for recycling the water, and which can be used for useful purposes, so that the water table can be maintained and also all will be getting the water. Now, one more to save, very important thing to in the conservation of water comes the drip irrigation. That means what? Drip irrigation saves water. What do you mean by drip irrigation? A technique of watering plants by using narrow tubes which supply water at the base of the plants as tiny drops. So the base of the plant, if the water is given in a proper way, the plants will grow well and more amount of water will not be needed to grow the plant. So you can see the two pictures, how the narrow tubes have been given, and only drip by drip the water will be given to the bottom, the base of the plants. This will help. As you know that agricultural we need 70% of water, but by following the drip irrigation, even their water can be saved. Next, water wise. Wise means handling the water in a wise way, like direct use, kitchen use, water using to the garden, or many ways you have to find out for this water wise habits. On your own you find out water wise habits, what all can be followed at home. Now, apart from this water wise habits, you are going to find out, because you all know that closing the tap while brushing, use a bucket of water, these all you are learning for longer time from your lower classes. So you find out those points. And new thing you learned is drip irrigation. And one more very very important way of conserving water is rooftop rainwater harvesting. Rainwater is collected from the roof of the buildings and stored in tanks after filtration. You can see the practically one picture how from the roof the water is being collected, and this water can be used for watering the plants, giving to the cattle, or different ways it can be used. This is the one of the very very important way of conserving water, children. And surface runoff water. So when the water is getting surface, it is falling, and there should be a pit, and that pit should be, water will percolate, means it will penetrate, it will go into the soil. That can be conserved, and it can be used for later purposes. See, infiltration pits, like this pits can be made. It soaks water and direct it to underground to recharge groundwater. This is not only for using later. This will recharge the groundwater like a charging. So it will be replenished. The groundwater will be replenished. See the pit with the gravel. This has to be made. So this infiltration pits will help to recharge the groundwater. And also rooftop only can be done in not only in the home. It can be done in many, even the hospitals, or it can be done in the offices, schools. Like see, from the roof the filtration tank should be there, then it should go to the storage and under the ground percolation tank. So this not only can be used for later purpose, this will also will take care of the water table maintenance, children. So this is very very surface run of water, and also the rooftop rainwater harvesting is very very important. See, these all are not the new things, children. Earlier, from the olden days, this was been in practice. People were conserving water by collecting them in the ponds. The traditional way of collecting water, ponds in the temples, were mainly constructed by the kings and all when they were long ago. It was to store the water. And see here, children. So conservation of water is very very important. By now you know that you find out the more and more ways for saving the water. So today's class you have learnt about the water cycle again, and also you learnt about the water table and reasons of depletion of water table, and also we learnt how to conserve water, and we learnt about the rainwater harvesting. So the project for this class is you try to make a model of rainwater harvesting. Okay, a simple model to explain the rainwater harvesting can be done, and all should write the why the depletion of water table, reasons for the depletion of water table, and then the different ways to conserve water and take it, and how to replenish the water, groundwater. These points all should write, and you have to go for the hands-on some project work by preparing the model for the rainwater harvesting, children. Thank you, children. Yeah, children. So complete all the work given. Let us meet in the next class, children. Bye bye, children.